Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're taking a look at Berachain.
Ooh, Berachain. That's a hot one.
It is. It's getting a lot of buzz, but I think it could be a little intimidating for people who are new to crypto.
I can see that.
So we've got some articles here, and I thought maybe we could break them down to, make Berachain easy to understand for anyone, even if you're just starting out with crypto.
That's good to me. Let's demystify Berachain.
Exactly. So first things first, what is Berachain?
Okay, so at its core, Berachain is a blockchain, just like, Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Right, right. We've heard those names.
Yeah, so basically it's a way to store information in a secure and transparent way.
Okay, secure and transparent. Got it. But what makes Berachain different? There are tons of blockchains out there.
Oh yeah, there are. Well, one of the cool things about Berachain is that it's EVM compatible.
EVM.
Yeah, EVM. It stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
So basically, that means that developers can easily, take their projects from Ethereum and bring them over to Berachain.
So it's like if you're a developer who's used to working with Ethereum, it makes it easy to move over to Berachain.
Exactly. It's like speaking the same language.
Makes sense. So EVM compatibility, that's one thing. What else?
Well, Berachain is also built on the Cosmos SDK.
Cosmos, like the universe.
Not quite, haha. Cosmos is a network of blockchains.
Okay. So it's like all these blockchains can talk to each other.
Exactly. They can share information and work together.
Wow. So Berachain is part of this bigger network. That's pretty cool.
It is. It opens up a lot of possibilities.
Okay, so we've got EVM compatibility, we've got Cosmos. What else makes Berachain special?
Well, they have this unique consensus mechanism called Proof-of-Liquidity, or POL for short.
Proof-of-Liquidity. Okay. I'm going to be honest, that sounds a little complicated.
It's not as bad as it sounds.
I hope not.
So most blockchains use proof of stake, right?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So proof of stake is like you own a certain amount of tokens, and that gives you the right to, help validate transactions and secure the network.
Right.
Proof of liquidity is a bit different. It's more like you're actively participating in the market.
Okay, how do you do that?
So you provide liquidity, like you add your tokens to a pool of funds, and that pool is used to facilitate trades and, keep the market moving.
So it's like you're contributing to the overall health of the network.
Exactly. And by doing that, you earn rewards.
So it's like an incentive to participate.
Right.
Interesting. So proof of liquidity, that seems to be a big part of what makes Berachain unique.
Definitely. It's one of their key innovations.
Okay, cool. Now, I remember you mentioned some other technical terms earlier. Polaris EVM and CometBFT.
Oh, yeah. Those are important, too.
Can you remind me what those are all about?
Sure. Polaris EVM. Remember that EVM compatibility we talked about?
Yeah.
Well, Polaris is what makes that possible. It's like the translator that allows Berachain to understand Ethereum's code.
Got it.
And then CometBFT, that's the consensus engine.
The engine.
Yeah, it's what makes sure that all the transactions are processed correctly and securely, even if some parts of the network go down.
So it's like the backbone of the system.
Pretty much. It keeps everything running smoothly.
Okay, so Polaris for compatibility, CometBFT for like stability and security.
Exactly. They're both essential parts of Berachain.
Got it. So we've talked about the tech. What about the people? Who's behind Berachain?
Well, that's kind of a mystery. The founders are anonymous. They go by these bear-themed pseudonyms like Smokey the Bear and Papa Bear.
Whoa, hold on. Anonymous founders, bear names. This is getting interesting.
It is, right. It adds to the mystique.
Definitely. Okay, so anonymous founders, cool tech. What about like how decisions are made?
That's a good question. Berachain has a governance system.
So it's not just like the code rules everything.
Nope. The community has a say in how things are run.
Okay, how does that work?
So there are different types of proposals that people can put forward. Yeah, like suggestions for changes or improvement.
Got it.
And the people who hold BRA and BGT tokens, they get to vote on these proposals.
BRA and BGT, those are the tokens for Berachain.
Exactly.
Okay, so those tokens give you voting power. Interesting. Tell me more about these tokens. What do they actually do?
Well, think of them like they're the fuel for the whole Berachain system. BRA is the gas token. So you use it to pay for transactions. Like when you want to, send some tokens to a friend, there's a tiny fee, and that's where BRA comes in.
Makes sense. And BGT is for...
GTT, that's your governance token.
Okay. So beer is for like everyday stuff, and BGT is for...
BGT is for having a say in how Berachain is run. You can use it for staking to help keep the network safe, and of course for voting on all those proposals we were talking about.
Right, right. So if you're serious about Berachain and want to be a part of its future, BGT is the token to watch.
Exactly. You got it.
You know, we've talked about proof of liquidity a lot, but I'm still not sure I fully grasp it. Can we maybe break it down a little further, make it super simple?
Sure, sure. Let's think of it this way. Imagine you and your friends want to buy a new video game, but it's kind of expensive. So you all pool your money together. That's kind of like a liquidity pool. Everyone contributes, and the pool is there to make sure everyone can play the game.
Okay, I get the analogy.
Yeah.
So how does that translate to Berachain?
Well, in Berachain, people contribute their Bera tokens to these liquidity pools, and those pools are then used to make trading easier on the network. Like if you want to swap one token for another, the liquidity pool is there to make that happen smoothly.
Ah, so it's like a big pot of tokens that everyone shares to make trading smoother and more efficient.
Exactly. And here's the cool part. By contributing to these pools, you earn rewards.
Wait, really? So you get something back for helping out?
You do. It's like earning a little bit of interest just for having your tokens in the pool.
That's pretty neat. So it's a win-win. The network benefits from the liquidity, and the people who contribute get rewarded.
Yeah, that's the general idea. And because these pools are constantly being used, they generate fees from every trade, a tiny percentage. And those fees are then shared among everyone who contributed to the pool.
So the more active the network is, the more rewards people can earn?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good incentive to keep things moving.
Right. It keeps everything flowing.
But hold on. What about security? How do we know these pools are safe? What's stopping someone from just taking all the tokens?
That's a great question. And that's where CometBFT comes in. Remember we talked about it being like the engine?
The engine that keeps things running.
Exactly.
Oh, like.
Well, it's also a big part of keeping things secure. It's designed to make sure everything is running smoothly and safely, even if some parts of the network have problems, or even if someone tries to do something shady.
Oh, okay. So CometBFT is like the security guard, too.
You could say that. It's always on the lookout, keeping everything in check.
That's reassuring.
Mm.
So we've got staking providing liquidity governance. Are there any other ways for people to get involved with Berachain?
Oh, absolutely. Don't forget, Berachain is EVM compatible.
Right, right.
That means
if you're already familiar with Ethereum, you can pretty much jump right into Berachain. You don't need to learn a whole new set of tools or anything.
So it's like you can speak the language already. You're good to go.
Pretty much. And that opens up a ton of possibilities for both users and developers.
For developers, I can see how that would be a big plus. But what about for everyday users?
Well, for users, it means having access to a wider range of applications and services.
Okay, so it expands the Berachain universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this ability to work with other blockchains, it's a game changer. It encourages innovation and collaboration between different blockchain communities. You know, everyone working together.
I like that. But let's be real for a second. Berachain is still pretty new.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges it might face moving forward?
Well, that's a good point. Every new project has its growing pains, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some things Berachain needs to watch out for?
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying, it's still pretty early for Berachain. One of the biggest challenges is going to be getting people to actually use it, you know, getting it out there.
Right, adoption.
Yeah.
That's key for any new blockchain.
Exactly. It needs to attract users, developers, projects, all the things that make a blockchain ecosystem thrive. It's kind of like building a new city. You need people to live there, businesses to open up, things to do.
Yeah. Make it a place where people want to be.
Right. And then there's the whole regulatory landscape,
Yeah.
That's always a challenge for crypto, figuring out how to work within the existing rules and laws.
It's a bit of a Wild West out there.
It can be.
Yeah.
So Berachain needs to make sure it's playing by the rules wherever it operates.
Definitely got to have a solid foundation.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's step back for a minute. We've talked about the tech, the challenges. What about the bigger picture? Where does Berachain fit into the future of crypto?
Well, Berachain is coming in at a really interesting time. Decentralized finance, DeFi is exploding right now.
It's huge. Everyone's talking about DeFi.
And for good reason. People are looking for alternatives to traditional finance. They want more control over their money, more transparency, more opportunities.
So you're saying Berachain could be a part of that movement?
Absolutely. With its focus on speed and efficiency and that community-driven approach, Berachain has the potential to be a major player in the DeFi space.
Interesting. And its proof-of-liquidity model that could really shake things up?
It could. It could make financial transactions smoother, faster, more accessible to everyone.
That would be a game changer for sure.
Right.
But it's not just about DeFi, right? What about all those other applications? dApps.
Oh yeah, dApps are a big part of it too. And remember, Berachain is compatible with Ethereum.
Right.
So developers can bring their Ethereum dApps over to Berachain or build new ones using familiar tools.
So we could see all sorts of cool dApps running on Berachain.
Absolutely. Decentralized marketplaces, social media platforms, games, supply chain management systems, you name it.
Wow. It's like a whole new internet built on blockchain technology.
That's the idea. It's pretty exciting. But there are always going to be challenges. What are some things that could hold Berachain back?
Good question. What are some potential roadblocks?
Well, one thing is competition. There are a lot of other blockchains out there, all fighting for attention and users.
It's a crowded space.
It is. So Berachain needs to find a way to stand out.
Make a name for itself.
Exactly. And ultimately, its success will depend on whether it can actually deliver on its promises. Can it really be faster, more efficient, more secure than the alternatives?
Right. It all comes down to results.
Yep. Proof is in the pudding, as they say. But even with all the challenges, there's definitely a buzz around Berachain. It feels like something new and different.
I get that. There's a sense of excitement.
And one of the things that makes Berachain so interesting is its community. It's not just a faceless corporation. It's a group of people who are passionate about building a more decentralized future.
That's cool. So as we wrap up our deep dives into Berachain,
Oh.
what's the one key takeaway for our listeners?
I'd say Berachain is a project worth keeping an eye on. It's pushing the boundaries of blockchain technology, and it's got a community that's truly dedicated to its vision. Who knows? Maybe it will change the world.
That's a great way to put it. And for our listeners who want to learn more about Berachain, where should they go?
The Berachain website is a good starting point. They've got tons of information there, and their community forums are a great place to connect with other Berachain enthusiasts.
Awesome. So go explore, dive in, see what Berachain is all about. And that's it for our deep dive today. Thanks for joining us. And remember, the world of crypto is always changing. So stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.